Good morning and welcome to Summit. On Monday, 20th October 2025, Nigerians in the FCT took to the streets in a peaceful protest, calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. The demonstrations were largely peaceful, drawing attention once again to the long-running debate over Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration, human rights, and the broader issues of justice and national unity. The protests have reignited public discourse. Should Nnamdi Kanu be released? What does this say about Nigeria's democracy, our rule of law, and government's handling of dissenting voices? Today, we'll be unpacking or unraveling these issues and more with our guest, a seasoned public affairs analyst and a human rights activist who joins us to make sense of this ongoing conversation and its implications on the nation. Comrade Razak Ulukoba, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good
morning.
Thank
you for joining me. All right, so you are watching Summit, and I am Jumoke Michaels. Thanks for joining us. So on this issue, let's begin with the big picture. What exactly happened on Monday, October 20th, 2025?
Well, the protest was a claim that it's going to be peaceful, and the state officials, that's state security people, including the police, felt that it is a threat. And looking at it, you are a communicator. Anytime you are interviewing your guest, your responsibility is to be able to ask questions and direct the person to where the person. There are so many theories in communication that you want me to say certain things, but you direct me to, I won't know. That's, you are expert in that direction. The handlers of the protest yesterday, if you are a communicator, you agree with me that they didn't do well. And that's a challenge with Nnamdi Kanu's case in Nigeria. You see, since that Nnamdi Kanu is pursued, it's a legitimate right for the Igbo people. I am in support of Igbo's right in Nigeria. But no matter the kind of love I have for the Igbo, I have a problem with the styles of Nnamdi Kanu. And that's why I begin to question the political class in the East. That they don't want this guy to come home. I began to question his lawyer. I hope it is not the money they are collecting from this man that is the reason why they are sustaining strategy that the federal government will see that this guy should not be free. So these are concerns that I'm beginning to. I couldn't show it. Showore knew very well he can't win the election by the ballot, and he's looking at the uprising in in the Middle East. He's been looking at what is happening all over, particularly the recent Madagascar, where true protests will take over government. Because it became emboldening each time there's an experience like that. And that is what is inspiring him, I know, in my mind, because he has not been saying release Kanu 2, 4, 5 months ago.
So but you're saying that Showore has ulterior motives for pushing for this protest?
Yes, and I think he's just using, all of them are using Kanu as a tool. The political class in the East know very well that once Nnamdi Kanu comes out, it's going to become the decider of their fate in the East, because people will gravitate towards him. So in all of this, it is important for the Nnamdi Kanu's family to sit down with him and review the strategy if they want him to be released. With this tie, no government will release him. This tie is wrong. Now, if you read Fidel Castro's self-defense of the revolution in 1959 against Batista government in Cuba, see, he did not insult anybody. He was not saying that Yorubas are idiots, these are idiots. And that's why I said the communication is the challenge, is creating problem for the Igbo cause. All of us I want to see a Chukwudi becoming the president of, I want to see it. I have been part of rallies in the East, several occasions, calling for justice when Nwatulike was the leader of Masop. We were part of. He sent people down for but the moment Nnamdi Kanu comes into the picture, I many of us begin to distance ourselves. And so you saw the people didn't say, go and kill anybody, go and slaughter anybody. So the protest yesterday, people have a right to protest. But the way it emerged, particularly anything with Sower is involved in, tends to bring a color of violence in it. 10 days of revolution, supporting of ensigns. So this kind of thing, it's not helping the guy's matter. The guy wants to fight for his people. That's his right. He has the right to do so. I have called for a breakup of Nigeria on several occasions. That fear, I don't share it today again. But I've done it in the past. I did it within the confines of the law. I said Nigeria is part of the African Charter of Human Rights. And there's a section that says that there's a right to self-determination, which then means that by, say, Yoruba people who don't want part of Nigeria is a legitimate right. But the process of our engagement and advocacy, nobody can say tomorrow that we create trauma for anybody. So for all people like us, anytime, any day, Hausa, Ijo, Igbo, Yoruba, and every ethnic group, they have a right to succeed and live well in Nigeria. But my clear advice is that for our Igbo brothers, they have to reflect, because why will it be all I need to do? We have a challenge with your style. Why is every ethnic group saying that to them? Just style, we have a challenge with it. So that means, sincerely, for my Igbo brother, because there's this misconception that, Razak, you are no longer speaking for us. I say, I won't be speaking for you. The truth is bitter. The way your brother is, if you are Yoruba, I'm Igbo, and I have a brother of mine saying that about you, will you be happy? I can't be happy. So for my Igbo brothers, go and sit down with Nnamdi Kanu if he wants to be released, though. First, there's nothing like unconditional release. For someone like him, it is not possible. And this is the kind of truth that people don't want to hear. No government will give Kanu an unconditional release. When we were calling for Abiola's unconditional release, we never knew that there were some political class among us pushing us to stand our ground that you should not take conditional release. And the man died in detention. Today, if I want to be part of any struggle that someone's in detention, I will not ask him to go and commit suicide the way we ask Abiola to commit suicide. So the political class knew very well that there's no government that will give Abiola unconditional release. Because they will be the beneficiaries. They were pushing. We didn't know. We were young. We were not naive, but we were young. The people who were older than us, it's expected that they have political wisdom more than us. So we are not ignorant. So also now, Kanu has become a pawn in the chess game of some political class. Nnamdi Kanu released today, certain political calculation has gone south for some politicians. So to that extent, they will be doing things that will make him to stay there, so that the Igbo cause, the concession for political.
So you think this protest is part of their strategy to keep him?
Yes.
To keep Nnamdi Kanu
to keep the Kanu there. Yes, because it is the responsibility of a government to make sure that if you are a threat to the rest of the nation, it is the responsibility of the government to say that if you are a threat, we'll keep you here. Now, if government now want to release you, the way you communicate with the government is important. Everybody, virtually everyone around Nnamdi Kanu, they are passing a message to government that if this guy is released, it's going to be a loose Kanu. That's what they are telling the federal government. And today I said they will not release him. So look at it. Now, someone was given bail for the first time. According to what they said, all these are alleged. It shouldn't be proven by court of law. Alleged, all the video things he did is alleged before until court says that he's guilty of it. He was given bail, and they said he jumped bail. If you're a federal government, they want to give such a person another bail, there will be condition. Now, instead of working out the condition for him to come out, he will stay around to answer his case. All sorts of things. You are not doing that. You are just saying that in court you should be insulting your lawyer. Tell your lawyer to keep quiet. They want him to be released. And all over the world, go and look at struggles that became very successful all over the world. The arrowhead of that struggle, what he says matters. What he says is what Corey favors for that their struggle. Yasser Arafat. The hatred some people have for Islam and Arab in the recent times is changing. When they saw what is happening in Gaza, some don't want to hear, no, they are terrorists. But the communication that the Arabs put to the rest of the world about, we are not only terrorist. See, it's provocation from the Jew. The people who were today, tomorrow supporter of, they begin to change their mind. That's communication. But October 7 was there. People didn't forget about that. But despite that, they have good communicator who were able to package their message, who were able to sell it to the world. And everybody is saying that no, there should be two-state solution. Netanyahu has an ulterior motive. It's communication. So if you go away from that, you look at another struggle again. People who have waged their struggle in South Africa, the ANC struggle, the way they wage their struggle, the ROA, what he says matters. When Mandela was in prison and was to be released, there were conditions. It's not another unconditional release. That was part of the crack that happened between Mandela and Winnie Mandela. When he was coming, I said, no, this is not what I agree with my people, that we should push the white into the ocean. We didn't agree that before they released me. They said there should be, when there's justice, and there's forgiveness. It's not an opposite direction. It is part of reform. Forgiveness is part of reform. The government recognized that what he has done, he can be forgiven. Some have done something worse than this in the past. We can forgive him, let him go. But when they look at the body language or people and what he says, it's a complication. So for me, I think the protest yesterday is not for the support of Shore, for Nnamdi Kanu. It is for people like Shore to advance their political aspirations, to create popularity for themselves. If you want people to support that language, you won't be saying. There are things you won't be saying. So I feel for the family of Nnamdi Kanu wherever they are, because when we're in detention, we know our families also feel. We know how the families of all the detainees feel when they were not. That was what led to the problem between Winnie Mandela and after 27 years in incarceration. So I feel for the family, and I also feel for rank and file Igbo who are pushing for a genuine struggle for their own people that can't be treating us like this.
Okay, but this issue, do you think it's becoming more political than legal from all these happenings?
It's always from day one is political.
Okay.
Because it is political denial of the Igbos that led to the agitation. That in the political terrain, Igbos are shortchanged. That's what Kanu is saying. And said that we want to be out of this union. And each ethnic group has a challenge, has issue to grant with Nigeria. All ethnic groups, we have issue with Nigeria. It is difficult not to hold each other responsible for it. It's difficult. But we must be graphical about it. We must not be insulting about it. Why we are where we are today, who contributed most to it? If a particular ethnic group is responsible, then we have to be graphical about it. The number of times where leaders of this country, this is the number, this is the year. Look at the growth we have witnessed. Look at the deficiency and look at challenge we have found under your. It's graphical. But you say, remember I said that the Netherlands are Momo, they are goods, they are this. They will not listen to your case. So it is political. And the political strategy of scorning the point, because it is not only the Igbos that will advance the Igbo cause. It is all of us that will advance your cause. At a point, they said, oh, this is too much for the Yoruba people. Let's bring someone to placate. They brought Obasanjo. So, in our mind, let's let Igbo breathe. Everybody is saying that in our mind, these people should breathe now. Civil war is gone. All of us were in civil war. But when we see certain tendency again that is capable of not only putting Nigerians in trouble, also capable of leading to loss of life of other. We don't want that. I don't want that again. I listen to Alabi Sama. I've read all the books about civil war. It's not a good thing for Nigeria. I don't want the country to go into that again. Sit at home on Saturday, on Mondays. Akumile's husband was killed. Golak, all major. That army and the husband was killed because he married another. All those are not good for the Igbo cause. Not just that they not kill their own people. Today they got 30% elevation. And I was in Port Harcourt severally, Isaac Adaka Buru Park, as a form of solidarity. When Dokubo was arrested, I was constantly calling for his release. When Nnamdi Kanu, when my sub leader, Wansuke was arrested, I was calling for his release. But I can't do that with them because I know that there's the way Chore is saying the way all the lawyers are saying we have a right to, it's scary to many people. And I'm also not, it's not so scary for me, it's also scary for the people. You want to run people into that kind of thing too? That's psychology. The ethnic group has not recovered from it. So you want us to go back into that again? I will not. Why once again made the case for the Igbos? No, this is reasonable. This is sensible.
Right, so
it's political. It's more political than even legal. You see, legal at times. Okay, Tinubu pardon many people recently. So it can also be pardoned. When this guy came in, and this my brother, Sunday Igboho came in, people sat him down. This is not an era for Yoruba nation. No. These are things you should be doing, and he'll be minding his utterances. Because if he does that again, he will mess himself up again, and he also mess the ethnic group up again. Because say, your brother is the president. What do you want? What's your problem? Even when Buhari was there, I am one of the people that formed the group that was called Self-Determination Group today. OPC was a breakaway from our own organization. When we sat down to do that, the first thing we wanted to do was to seek for the understanding of Yoruba people. And we told Gani, Fashion, Sunday, all of them that no, your people must agree with you. Yoruba will deny you. So it's at that point that I felt that our own brother too, in the mind of the elite of the Igbo, do they love him? Do they like him? I don't think so. When this was the case of Abela, this was not the way you handle it. We were not insulting. We were not going to consider his behalf. We didn't do that. Despite that, the man died there. So if we want a person to be, it's more for a political solution. If we want to pursue the legal, there's going to be a problem. There's the video, there's the evidence, there's the call artist, and that's not AI. So it's more political. But that political, the family of Kanu must begin to beam a searchlight on everybody around Kanu. The lawyers, are we sure it is not the money for dues they are collecting, the charges they are rendering, that is the reason why they don't want this guy to go? Because it's a big case for them. They will paid millions and give them popularity added to their profile. So they may not want it to go. So for me, these are conjectures that in my own mind it is true. That if we are objective to ourselves, Nigerians that are watching me, and also my Igbo brother, if you want to be objective about what I'm saying, I am not going to be here to deceive anybody or to have the fear of what the public will say. I will not express my professional view. As a chartered public administrator, as a political scientist, I will not do that. When Hitler was out, many people were with him. In fact, many Europeans were with him. But there were few who knew the implications of what Hitler. The public condemned them, but they were courageous. They keep repeating it. And that's the kind of people that I belong to now. My views it's not popular at the moment. But if we are objective, if we look at the thin line below the issue, you see the point I'm making. That for instance, the President was one of the people he called out that they should destroy his property. But the moment you have become the president, you must have a large heart. In having that large heart, there must be show of remorse. When you say my property should be destroyed, I need to forgive you. You are my son. I forgive you for that. But when people around you keep saying that Nnamdi Kanu is not right, is not wrong, is right, it flares anger in the mind of many people that were affected. There are people who had miscarried the day they went to Bon TV. I'm not saying it's him, but so for me, Nnamdi Kanu can be released and still become an hero in the East and become an hero in Nigeria. But repackage him. Right. Communication is wrong.
Okay, all right. So from the human rights perspective now and the rule of law perspective, how do you assess government handling of this matter?
Now,
you are a human rights activist.
Now,
yeah. So,
you okay? I got into a point in my argument and advocacy and I realized one thing, that rule of law is central. Because the court had asked this man to be free. That's where I'm going. Rule of law is important. Human rights is important. But there's a line that you must not cross as a human. It is a universal law. International law is there. Local law is there. It is called the balance of power. That balance of power indicates that no individual must constitute himself into a clog in the will of any nation, the integrity of any nation, the survival of any nation. Once you do that, your human right is suspended. There's no question of rule of law. The first thing that will come to the mind of the government is the unity of that country. So let's educate the young people at home to be able to distinguish between that rule of law, human right, and the unity of the nation. In the name of human rights, you can't bomb police station. That was why the case cannot be taken to United Nations. I mean, the case of instance. When Obasanjo sacked Odi, we took him to the United Nations. On March 4, 1999, 92 OPC members were killed and massacred by the Nigerian police wearing Nigerian uniform. We documented and took to the United Nations. You see, in all these cases, why we couldn't proceed was because they established the point where army were killed in Odi. That's the line that says it must not be crossed. In the case of the OPC, they said OPC member killed police. That's the line I said we should not be crossed. So automatically, they will not ask the president that question, whether they should move or not. So it's also in the case of Samuel Ekpa. Why was it possible for Nigeria to make a case against him there? Why was it possible for Kanu to be brought back to Nigeria from Kenya? It is that law that is binds all the countries together. And this is an education. You are a journalist. I'm an international resource person. International, I just not international under political science. So these are laws so that people will understand the gravity of what is on ground. So that, and I said, law cannot be applied here. It's political solution. That political solution is an amnesty thing. And if an amnesty thing is coming to become a case of pardon, and that is the case, there will be conditions. This is the kind of education we need. No sentiment, no blackmail will make any government listen to say that it's a human rights case. So
yeah, let me just say something.
Did you not make a case for him? Did the international court of law, did you make a case for Kanu? Despite even the local laws said that. They recognize that. No country will be blamed if there's such thing coming up and it is decimated and say, no, this cannot happen.
Sorry. In your summation, I think 3 or 4 times now you have mentioned political solution.
Yes.
Instead of a legal solution.
Legal solution, I don't think it's going to make any.
And that he cannot be released without conditions.
Yeah, of course, that's not possible.
Are you trying to say that is where the issue really is?
Yes, that's where the issue is.
Nnamdi Kanu himself and his followers are not agreeing to a political solution with conditions attached.
People are encouraging him not to agree. I have a suspicion that they don't want him to be released because they know that there will be conditions. That was why Abela was not released. You can't travel, you can't say this, you can't say that. If Abela agreed to conditional release, he will have been released. But we didn't know. I will be one of you that will be courageous enough to say that Abela accept, no matter what anybody says, he will be alive today. So for me too, Kanu should accept conditional bail. I'm not persuading him. That's the only thing that can bring him out. And the second thing is the legal angle. Don't go there. It has implication for him. Because these are evidences, judgment has not been passed, but if you examine the evidence, you will know the gravity and you may likely know outcome of this may not be good. Though. Let's begin to push political. And if you push a political solution, 2 things are attached to it. 1, there should be conditional. And 2 is that the communication needs to change. If you say, I'm not going to fight you again. That is not the body language. Someone will not fast. I'm not going to fight. Communication matters. So the communication that is coming from that axis is a bit scary. So people like can't be scared of saying the truth. There are my colleagues that say some of this behind the scene. But when they come to TV, they say he has a right to protest. I say that is inhumane. That's not. Many of my people will say something behind the scene, and when they come on scene, they will say something. I say I can't do that. When I say the people took a wrong decision, Nigerians may disagree with you. They will say you have been bought. I don't care because I know very well that in the future, history will absolve me. History will absolve me. So who is against Kanu? In the nearest future, history will absolve us. People will know who the person who actually wanted the Igbo struggle to succeed. people who are also wishing that Kanu should die, people in the future will tell, do you want the man to die there?
All right.
By keeping them in the every day, come talking about his condition, and you are saying should not accept conditional bail. You want to kill the guy then?
All right, so this protest has happened already, and it's about the first major one, you know, that has happened.
In this East, it was boycotted. No. Hope you heard that.
Okay.
It didn't. In the whole of the Southeast, nobody came out. What does that tell you?
It was on a Monday. They don't come out on Mondays.
That's to tell you. But on the Monday, we say they don't go out. People don't go out. But today, something else is beginning to happen. Don't get to a point where you say the follower and rank and file of them will decide this guy. Don't let him be decided. It's not fair what you are doing to him.
All right, now that the protest has happened, how do you think government should address the concerns of the protesters without appearing weak or politically pressured?
For his release? You mean for his release?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No. Government
address the concerns.
No, the government has the thick skin to take blames if they take decision. The case of the woman that murdered her husband now has a very terrible backlash for the government. But that's what government is to take blame, because the government is saying that she's not the only one released though. And you can't be in jail if you didn't commit any crime. And people who have released have also committed one form of crime or the other. And the tool of change from bad to good is to perpetual punishment or pardon, with a persuasion that, we have pardoned you, go and sin no more. So the government shouldn't be bothered about what the people will feel if he wants to release Nnamdi Kanu. It should be it needs to also be able to explain what the Kanu side needs to do, maybe behind the scene, that you can't go out with this kind of body language and you expect government to release you. So, because I know very well that the unity of this nation is important to the government and the president, and I know that the president wants to unite the entire Nigeria. That's why if you look at the pardon, it has a spread. There's a pardon for Abat Macaulay, I am happy about it as a Obama. There's pardon for someone in the north. There's pardon for some coup plotters. There's a spread. That is communication that this government has your love at heart. So Nnamdi Kanu too is a major issue for the Igbos. So if there's a way around it for the president to use it to score a point that will unite, I think he will do it. But it's a shared responsibility. The government has a role to play. The people, the Igbo people, the Kanu's lawyer and his family also has a role to play. So if the government has agreed behind the scene that I'm going to play this role, you should play this role. It's important for us to meet at a point where we strike an equilibrium. That, okay, this is what you are going to do, this is what I'm going to do, because every Nigerian want a sober reflection before government will take action. 99% outside the Igbo people, 99% want a sober reflection. And that's a summary. That's what the people want. If I'm giving you an information, I'm free information. I'm giving you Kanu's family, the lawyer, the supporter, I'm giving you an information. Nigerians want some level of sober reflection. This is an evidence that our lives are safe. If you go to the east to conduct business, and you outside and Obama will not be killed. This is a message to us. So for the families around him, there must be some of these things I'm saying, that there must be that communication. That communication is important. If you didn't communicate it, if you look at the negotiation between the Taliban, the Hamas, and the Israeli, and people who wanted to bring them together now, there's a level of communication. You can see that Israel has been pushed back a bit. They don't want that war to end. But you will see that he has agreed in a way that that he's not happy about it, but he has agreed. That's a demonstration. Hamas is also saying, before Hamas will not agree to some of those conditions. In fact, when they say Hamas strikes there, they will quickly deny it. Say, no, we don't have any cell there. We are not active there. Before, they will not deny it. Of course, we say it's us, no problem. But that's a communication that, so if they are not the one and they deny it, they are passing, it's a communication that, no, we don't want this war to end. You taught me this. Journalists, mass com, they taught me this. My son is a mass com. All of you taught me this level of communication. So what I'm saying is that Experts in communication will get a clearer message of what I'm saying, that there should be that level of understanding before it is done. But when there's hostility between the movement of Kanu's release and the government, we are not going to make
Now,
an
they have
exit.
said that the protest is going to continue to 25th of October, and they have tagged it Operation Occupy Abuja. Now, do you see all this having any
It's a Madagascar.
pressure on government?
It's a continental importation of Madagascar experience. You don't want the Madagascar experience here. What does Occupy Abuja has to do with Kanu's release? They just doesn't want Kanu to be released. He's someone that he was the president. I was president at the time when we were in school together. We had protests together. But this is on this note, we can't meet. It's not fair on this man. Occupy Abuja, operation. That's not civil language. It's a military language, too. And you see, when you say movement, when you say operation, the security department will analyze what you mean by that. And in Abuja, in front of Aso Rock, he didn't go to where the man is detained, though. He didn't go to court premises. So he didn't go to where it will have a symbolic meaning. Nnamdi Kanu is not in Aso Rock. So you can see that this is a picture, a photocopy of Madagascar experiences in the hand of all of them. They are following that. They want to follow that script, and it can't happen in Nigeria.
So what about before we go?
The more they go, they are complicating the man's case, and that's not fair on this man.
All right, so we also have government always trying to get court orders when protests are not in the favor of government, so to speak, and always having so much military presence, police presence, firing live bullets, throwing tear gas at people. Is that not a softer way
that are trigger happy policemen? And this is the reason why I also warn young protesters of today that many of my people have been shot. My left eye has challenged because of police batting and marks all over my body. Nobody has paid me any compensation, no. And that's why I'm saying that the trigger happy policemen are also among the good police officers on the day of protest. So don't give them the opportunity to be able to do that. I'm saying this now because I don't want to be part of a family or a father that will say that police do not have the right to be on the street. That is going to provoke the protester. If you hear that also those days when we were in school, we become angry. I'm going to throw stone at them. We want to do all sort of things to them. You become angry. But if you say, okay, they want to come and guide you, don't provoke them. The reason for protest is that symbolism. That Nnamdi Kanu said, is a popular case. It is in the mind of Nigerians. We don't want him to continue to stay in detention. That's the essence. So if it goes beyond that point, police will come in. And there's a universal standard to protest now. You can't want to protest and say, shut Abuja down, occupy Abuja. No, that's no longer universally acceptable. Because what's the essence of protest? Just to be able
to pass your message.
Yeah, to pass your message. It's not to block road.
They were not the ones who blocked the road.
No, I'm giving you instances of why the police had to call me that you can't block the road. And for me, the court order for people to protest is also part of the military mentality of the Nigerian security situation. The president is a protester. He's a protester. He has taken Okada in the night to join us for June 12th on several occasions that I saw him with my 2 eyes. On several occasions. I heard of his name when we were in 1992, when we were having our protest. I said, Senator, with you, there's a Bola Tinubu that time, not a Jagaban. So he is a man that understands the culture of protest. So the court injunction thing is wrong. That before I can have food on my table to eat, prepared by my wife, that's what is tantamount to. I need permission from the police. No, that is gagging. Gagging the society. And that's why the blame is on both sides. On the side of the police, it is provocation to do certain things, to say certain things, to shoot live bullets, on Nigerians. It is wrong for anybody to deploy military for protesters, because the Insurrection Act has to be activated by the parliament, I think by the president, before you can be seeing army on our streets. So also, on the side of the protester too, there's a message you want. Educate me why I should support the release of Nnamdi Kanu. That's the essence. You do leaflet, you address the press, you call for the importance of the unity in Nigeria. So when certain slogans begin to come out, 12 days of rage, endless protest, these are things that become scary to people. So people who remember the laws that police are about to break again, what they will remember is that these people want to burn our house down again. They want to destroy our business again. They want to steal things again in the name of the protest. That's what will come to the mind of the people.
Okay.
So, and that's why the two sections need to be cautioned. The police needs to be cautioned. If the military has to come in, they have to be cautioned. These are your children. Then the protester also must also understand the universal standard to protest again. Don't disrupt movement. Don't infringe on the rights of other people who are not willing to be part of your protest. They may be in support of your protest, but they want to be part of the protest. What you are fighting, they may support, they want to be part of. So it is a shared blame between the police and the protesters. And for people who are around Nnamdi Kanu, I want them to know that the role all of us play in all of this, history is a beach. It's documenting it. And at the appropriate time, we will be able to decipher who is playing the role for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, who is indirectly saying Nnamdi Kanu should be released, but it translates to the fact that he will not be released. Who is doing that? History is there. From his lawyers to the politicians in the southwest, to people like Showore and everybody, including elite in the Igbo land. Who wants the man to be released? Who wants the man to die there, because when he comes out, he becomes the Lord of the man in the southwest. So these are things that history is documenting for us. And the people who are coming behind us, is going to pass their judgment based on that.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on this very all-important matter. But for me, I am very happy for something you said, that is a political issue that should be handled and resolved politically.
That's correct.
And that if the man needs to be released, he has to be given conditions.
Yes.
And those are the conditions they need to accept, which they have refused to accept till now, so that the man can come out of detention.
Alive.
Yeah. All right, thank you again. Wow, what an interesting conversation this morning. We'll move on to the next segment.